Hey everybody, this is Kenny Cummins here. You are chilling with Kenny C right here on tmvcafe.com, bringing you entertainment to your ears. My first guest is a recording artist all the way from Southern Alabama.
Yep.
He has released his latest single called Rollin', and it is available on all streaming music platforms. I'm here with Frank Fletcher. He's with me right now. How's it going?
You good? How are you, brother?
Good, man. Good to have you on. Getting into the weekend. Great to have you on, brother.
Yeah,
Great
we,
to
we
have you.
got a we got a big weekend ahead of us with it being 4th of July. We're gonna be all over the place. We got 5 shows in the next 5 days. So
5 shows in the next 5 days, man. So yeah, this man right here is busy, busy. So we'll definitely get into these upcoming shows in just a bit, man. But talk a little bit about how you get started into music. How did it start off for you?
it started off for me at a very early age. I started taking guitar lessons about 12 years old, and then I actually played in my very first bar when I was about 14. Um, I'm from a really small town, and that bar actually let me and my my band that I put together in high school, like we started playing out. By the time we were like 15 or 16, they would, they'd and play shows, even though we weren't, supposed to be in a bar at that age. And it's kind of just grown from there. It was a hobby of mine for years, where I'd work a day job and then play on the weekends. And about 6 years ago, I really decided to take it serious and try to make a career out of it. And I've been a full time musician, and been lucky enough to have a good enough career to be able to pay the bills, being a full time musician for the last 6 years.
All right, full-time musician for 6 years. That is awesome, man. It's one thing to go through it. It's another to stick with it for so long, and from the looks of things, you stick with it and haven't looked back ever since. So that's pretty awesome, man. I see your music is described as country rock per se. Got some rock and roll, some country feels to it. Um, so as it pertains to that, man, like talk about just combining the two as it pertains to your music.
Um, I think country nowadays as a genre, there's so many different like subsections of country now. I mean, you've got songs that in the '90s would have been an alt rock song, alternative rock song, and now that's a country song. There's even some guys out there that they're listed as country that are would have been hard rock, heavy rock, and then you got like the R&B country and stuff like that. So I mean, I've always been a fan of music, and I've listened to all genres. So when it came to my sound and starting to write and finding my own voice, I mean, there's kind of a little bit of influence of all genres. If you listen to all the songs I write, my whole catalog of songs, there's a different vibe. Um, but it's pulled from every genre. It's just from just loving music my whole life and listening to everything and having so many different inspirations.
So that's a nice segue. Inspirations. Um, do you consider some of the inspirations as far as artists? Who are some of the artists that has inspired you over the course of your career?
The course of my career, I mean, when I was a kid, when I first started into music, I was actually really big into the blues. So there's a guy named Johnny Lang. Of course, you had BB King, um, Stevie Ray Vaughan, guys like that. Um, Elvis was a big influence on me when I was younger. And then stepping in, I was a '90s alt rock kid through and through. I love '90s alternative rock. So, Matchbox 20, Stained, Hootie and the Blowfish, guys like that. Like I really enjoyed that sound. And then I even got into heavier stuff. I mean, not super heavy, but like Godsmack, Pantera, you know, on the rock side of things. Country. I mean, growing up, '90s country was, in my opinion, the best country. So you've got guys like George Strait, and of course Garth Brooks, and things like that. Today's country, it was Jason Aldean, Brantley Gilbert, and those guys that really kind of turned rock style country into a market. So I've got to give a nod to those guys. And like currently, my favorite artist out is Cody Jinks, which is a Texas country, red dirt kind of guy. So it's all over the map.
Yeah, shout out to the '90s, man. Shout out to the '90s, especially music. If you know, a lot of people like to debate, like who had the best decade of music, who had the best music either today or the past.
Right.
Because I'm born in '84, so I did live through the '90s, and I have to inform the 2000s, the 2010s, you know, generations like
I'm with you, man. I think
90s.
pretty much every genre of music
Yeah,
in the '90s was, I mean, '90s rock, '90s rap, '90s R&B, you know,
yes,
'90s country, all of it to me, the '90s. But I'm a '90s kid too, so
yeah,
it could have just been that was what we listened to growing up.
yeah, and the music in the '90s hit different compared to now. It's like there was, uh, I don't know how to describe it. There was, you know, it just hit different. You know, the mood, the feel,
I
the
agree.
authenticity, some message driven, you know, things like of that nature, you know, and you know, there was the TRLs, there was the countdown shows, like there were, you know, it was just it had some crazy moments too, but the '90s, was definitely a standard as it pertains to artists getting out there per se. You know, you had to put out demos. There were very
Right.
few ways of getting your music out. You know, if anybody go back in the day, even the '80s, even you had to put out demos. There weren't no social media, you know, bubbling. There weren't no SoundCloud and things like that until late in the 2000s. So that made it a lot challenging, but it definitely separated the good music that was out there at the time, and it speaks for itself, really.
100%.
So, man, let's talk about this single, "Rolling." Just came out. It's available on the platforms. So with me, when I interview artists, like I like to to music, listen to the artist's music like on the air, like for the first time. So
Right.
you can get a genuine reaction to it, just as
All
I'm
right.
about to interview the artist. So I heard Rolling. I'm like, man, he definitely got the country rock thing patted down on this one. You know, it's got we're in summer season, and I feel like every artist, whether you're independent or you're mainstream, everybody got that summer feel song somewhere in their archives per se.
That's what
And
Rolling was all about, man. We wanted to put together a fun summertime banger, you know, and I mean it's literally like true life of growing up in the South. I grew up in my granddad's car garage. My drummer, which was one of the co-writers on the song, he worked in a logging company working on trucks. So by Friday, you were ready to get the heck out of work. You were ready to, pick up whatever girl you were seeing or dating and, drink a few beers and cut loose. So, that's what that song's all about.
man, that's self-explanatory too, man. You and the fellas. really had a lot of fun with that song, and it shows. I definitely dig it, and I will let you know now that I've heard the song and that I ended up liking the song. I'm gonna play that song again on the day before 4th of July. I've got this Music Monday show that I do. I play independent music every Mondays, and I'm playing like a variety of country, folk, bluegrass, Americana, and I want to announce to you that Roland will be on the playlist next Monday. So I'm putting it on there. Uh, Definitely enjoyed the track. So go stream it, go buy it, go tell your friends. You know you looking for the summer bangers anyway. A lot of us are out of school at this point or out of work, depending the type of job that you have. And go check out Frank Fletcher's latest single, Rolling, available on all streaming music platforms. And support independent music, y'all. Support independent music, man. These artists are incredible. So, you mentioned in the introduction, you're going to be hitting the road for the next several days leading up to 4th of July, and it begins this Friday. You're gonna be at the Barber's Bar and Grill at let me see if I can pronounce this city's name. Uh
It's
we we the
and I don't
we
even think I don't even think I say it right, but it's Wadawi,
with
Alabama.
Dowie. Okay.
Um,
You
I,
pronounced it a
I
lot better
always
than I
laugh.
did.
I tell people it's we do weed. You just drop the D. Look at it. Look at how it's spelled. It's we do weed.
I'm looking at it right now. When I say we do we. That was my first.
Yeah. So it's me. Oh, me too. And I can't even say it like the people that live there say it. But Wadawi is as close as I can get. So we'll be in Wadawi, Alabama tomorrow, and then we head back to Fort Walton Beach, Florida, on Saturday, and then Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday we're on St. George Island, um, Florida. So it'll be a lot of fun in the sun. You know, we'll be at the beach for about 4 of those 5 days.
Man, that's gonna be quite the weekend for you and your band, man. So gonna be in Alabama tomorrow, and then the next days, few days after that, we'll be at Florida.
Yeah.
So go check out Frank Fletcher and his incredible band. Check out the website frankfletchermusic.com for all the details and the complete list of shows. He's got even more shows after that.
We
He's
cram, we play anywhere between 200, 230 shows a year. So we're we're averaging 5 or 6 shows a week. We're getting ready to head to Minnesota the end of July on the way up to Sturgis Bike Rally. We'll be in Sturgis for Sturgis Bike Rally both of those weeks.
Wow. Did you just say 200 plus shows a year on the road?
We've averaged about 200 to between 200 and 230 shows a year for the last 3 years straight. So we're on the road a lot.
Man. So obviously, as you point out, this is your profession. You're a full-time musician. And obviously, getting on the road definitely helps. Um, Man, how do you manage that, man? 230 plus days on the road. How do you and your bandmates? How do you go? Is it fun? I mean, it's obviously fun, but it's man, that's
And
a lot of
it,
days,
it
man.
it's a career, it's a way of life, it's like its own breathing entity. I still do all my own booking. Um, So I'm on the phone constantly trying to book, trying to find new places to play, setting up new routes. Um, but it's funny because I do the booking. So when I'm booking, I'm thinking about money and shows and putting together the route. then we get on the road and we have to play all of those shows. And I'm like, man, whoever booked all of this stuff, they need to be beat. They need to be fired. And it was, I did it to myself, but we enjoy playing out live. That's what we so that the travel and the setup and the breakdown and all the long nights, no sleep, like, yeah, that's rough. And road life is interesting because you never know, tires blowing out or breakdowns or traffic jams. But getting to connect with people, getting to see people face to face, getting their reactions and hearing their stories and stuff. That's to me that's the most gratifying part of it.
Definitely gratifying, especially you get to live out your dream, and you get to do it with your friends, with your bandmates, and you're getting people to sing the songs word for word, especially your original material.
Yeah.
That has to be very satisfying.
It's a really cool feeling to have people request your songs, know the words, sing them back, and like not too long ago we were in Deadwood, South Dakota, and we played one of our originals, and this whole table, freaked out. They were like, "Wait a minute, that's you?" They were from Texas, and I guess we're on their Spotify playlist, and they liked the song, and so they listen to it all the time. So that was things like that are really cool.
Absolutely, man. I'm drawing Frank Fletcher, singer songwriter out of Southern Alabama. He's gonna be he's literally on the road as I'm having this interview with him. Probably on his way to Wedoe. I guess we when I went to your website and I looked at the dates and yeah, that name alone, man. I'm trying to find out who come up with the name of these cities, man. Like,
If I had to guess, and this is just
yeah,
a wild guess, that one's probably Native American. If I had to make a guess at it.
yeah, that might be the case.
A beautiful
So
city, man. It's a lake town, so um,
yeah,
it's a beautiful area to be in.
so I'm a fellow Southerner myself. I'm born in Mississippi. I'm born in Tupelo, which
How
also is the
have
birthplace
you
of
How
yeah.
far is that from Long Beach, Mississippi?
Um, Probably a few hours.
Yeah, I
Um,
just booked. We're making our way back because we played Biloxi a few times,
yeah.
but in September we're gonna be in Long Beach, Mississippi. So
Oh,
I'm heading your direction.
oh, yeah. So I used to live there. I currently reside in Kentucky now.
Okay,
I live in Lexington, Kentucky.
gotcha.
Um, so got a pretty active live music scene here. So, and considering you're a very busy man, always on the phone booking shows, just maybe you and your band can make your way to the Bluegrass State here in Kentucky one of these days, if possible.
We need to. We drive
Um,
through there quite a bit.
so, yeah, just putting that out there. Just putting it out there.
I'm gonna see what I can do. I'll see if I can't hook something up. I'll reach out to you, let you know. You
All
be
right, man.
our VIP guest.
Cool. I'm all for it, man. I want to thank you, Frank, for being on the show. With your busy schedule, you being on the road, getting ready for a busy weekend leading up to 4th of July. Um, Thank you so much for your time. Check out his latest single, Rollin'. It's available on all the streaming platforms. Check out the website, frankfletchermusic.com. All the info on the shows is on there, and old music and new music. And I'm pretty sure he's got some new music more on the way as he is
We just had a
continuing.
meeting about that today, so we're gonna be releasing um, some new stuff sooner rather than later. I can't give you a date yet, but y'all stay tuned, and we'll have some new stuff coming out real soon.
Sounds good, man. Thank you so much, Frank. Continue success and safe travels on the road, especially this weekend. Thanks for your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. You have a
All
great
right,
night, man.
you too. All right.